We are going to be talking about something that has caused so many meltdowns in the Taylor Swift fan community. There's mess that Taylor got into on Tumblr that still has not made its way into like the public consciousness.
Like most things, the beginning was so innocent. It was so pure. It was just full of passion, and it was beautiful. And then, well, like all good things, the derangement started.
This is a cautionary tale of how to fuck around and find out and ruin things for everyone else. Welcome back to Evolution of a Snake. I'm Zach.
And I'm Madeline.
And today you may see that we are in a different location. We're currently in Spotify Studios. You're about to listen to an episode that we pre-recorded a while ago that has actually become more relevant. We thought it was done, but she's back and she's screaming. We're going to talk about secret sessions today and why they're never happening again. And because we have a new era, Life of a Showgirl, it's a mysterious album. Some might say this would be the perfect time to do a secret session, but she's never going to do them again.
No, and it's your fault, by the way.
It's your fault. So enjoy listening to this one, and we will see you on Patreon, patreon.com/astrologist. Madeline, when you think of the secret sessions, what's your knee-jerk reaction?
That's a complicated question, actually. So I guess the PR response that I would give is, wow, weren't the secret sessions amazing? Wasn't it so great that Taylor got to meet so many fans and et cetera, et cetera? Isn't it so cool that she invited fans to her house for free? She's never charged anybody to meet her. She's such a great person. she's my queen.
Wow.
You know,
okay,
Taylor's
Tay
my
North
girlfriend.
Korea.
Tay North Korea, that's kind of like my PR response. If you were to ask 20-year-old Madeline that exact question, that would not be her response. To honor her, the girl that I was, I will tell you that my response to the secret sessions would probably be something. It involves crying, but not in a good way. It involves jealousy, envy, etc., etc. So that's all I'm gonna say. The girl I used to be, I carry her with me.
She's with you all the time. The secret sessions were a time of extreme excitement, but also strife within the fan community. If you really think about it in a certain way, the secret sessions were the beginning of the end of Taylor dating to interact with us. It's the most involved she's ever got. And by the time we get around to the third iteration of the secret sessions, you will have a very clear picture of why they're never going to happen again and why they shouldn't, to be honest. So Madeline, why don't you take us back to the original OG iteration of these secret sessions?
So the first iteration of the secret sessions happened in, of course, the 1989 era. These were a huge deal when they first started for a multitude of reasons. You got to hear the new album before other people. Now that's just a case of what can I hold other fans' heads? And if there's one thing that Swifties love to do, it's to hold things over other people's heads. I'll tell you that for free. You also got to go into her personal home. Her personal HOME home. And honestly, it didn't feel that insane when this was first happening, like in 2014. Now I'm like, I cannot believe she ever did that. I cannot believe she ever did that. You also got to meet other fans, which could be a networking experience, or you could meet like the worst person you've ever met in your life, and their stories like that.
Either way,
it's kind of like a mixed bag. It's the best person you've ever met, or it's the worst. You can't have it both ways. And then also you get to meet Taylor and sometimes her parents. I always remembered there was one Reputation session where Jack Antonoff was there. Were the Hines sisters at one? I feel like they were.
They've been to one. I didn't get to meet her, but I saw her. She was there. Abigail came. Now, if you're a real OG Swiftie head and you're at the Nashville house and you see Abigail pop out, like that's the gag, really.
Yeah. That's definitely the gag. But most importantly, the secret sessions, especially in the 1989 era, highlighted something that Taylor really was going out of her way to emphasize during this era, that her relationship with her fans was one of the most important things to her as an artist and as a newly minted, bona fide pop star. And I think like in the Red era, we weren't calling her a pop star yet. At least I wasn't. I don't think we were ready to admit it, but it was really hard to deny. 1989, she was a pop star. 100%.
And I feel like when I reflect on the secret sessions, so much about 1989 was about creating distance with her audience, like the songs themselves and the whole image revamp and rebrand. It wasn't the most relatable she had ever been, but this was an incredibly intelligent way to still keep her core audience engaged and feeling as though they knew her better than ever before, because she was closer to us than ever before.
Well, meeting fans also up to that point was something that she always considered to be incredibly important to her. She would go out of her way to do it. And again, I'd like to reiterate, Taylor Swift has never once charged a single one of her fans to meet her. She had her mother and Taylor Nation go into the crowds at shows to find the biggest fans to come back and meet her in Club Red and Tea Party, and also pre-show meet and greets. She would organize fan meet events where she'd find fans from Twitter, Instagram, and the also now defunct Taylor Connect. And she even once did a 13-hour meet and greet where she met as many people as she possibly could. I think it was actually more like 16 hours because she didn't want to turn anybody away. I mean, I'll be take North Korea, and I'm saying she's a benevolent.
If you were a
dictator.
Swiftie at this period of time, it was always in the back of your head that your chance to meet Taylor was right around the corner. Like it was tomorrow.
Yeah.
It was, it
Yeah.
could be, you never knew where you were going to be when you were going to get the message from Taylor saying, I specifically want to meet you out of my millions of fans. And that was such a powerful mechanism that she had and lorded over us as she got closer and closer to getting in the weeds of the fan behaviors.
When she was becoming a quote unquote pop star, I kind of think that she might have felt like, even though everything about her was going to change, even though she might look totally different, to a certain extent sound totally different, one thing about her was never going to change, and that was that she was never going to change putting her fans kind of at the top of her priority list. Another way to put that might be, I want you to know I'll never change, but I'll never stay the same either. I mean, a wise woman once said. A wise woman once said. So that's kind of, I think, a big catalyst to the Secret Sessions, was that she wanted to do this crazy thing that no other pop star in her position was really doing. It is worth it to note Katy Perry did this, though. She didn't do this exact thing. Yeah, she did it for Prism? And I think Teenage Dream. Yeah.
At her house?
I can't remember. No.
Just listening parties.
She had listening parties with her fans. So, I mean, just kind of ironically, Katy Perry
it was
also
a
did
very
this.
intelligent marketing thing to do as well, because I remember the press was very interested in the concept of what a secret session was. Like, everybody correctly assumed and said that inviting fans to your house is crazy. Why are you doing that? And Taylor was like, hee, I do it because my fans are my friends. And again, that just reinforces the whole, I'm just like you, I'm your best friend. I can, I can do things for you that other people maybe can't. And it also allowed, Shake It Off was polarizing. For the core fan base, it was polarizing. And inviting fans in to hear the album before it came out allowed those fans to go back into fan spaces and tell the fans that were worried, guys, it's really good. Don't drop off. There was a part of that too, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I needed to hear that. Not that I wanted to listen to any of those people because they were my mortal sworn enemies, especially the 1989 ones. But I mean, if you had a little bit of tea that you could share, Mama wouldn't mind. Well, actually, brings me into my next point. An important part of Secret Sessions lore is Tumblr.com. Before the popularity of Tumblr, Taylor was very active on MySpace, which was kind of just like an early version of all the social media that we know today. And she would use MySpace to connect and talk to her fans. So for a while after MySpace became irrelevant, she was mostly just on Instagram and Twitter. I remember before she got on Tumblr, she was in people's in people's Instagram
Twitter
comments.
As well.
Yeah, she did. I mean, come on, it was kind of the girly for a second. But then in August of 2014, Taylor joined Tumblr, and this was her very first post. It says, Taylor here. I'm locking myself in my room and not leaving until I figure out how to use my Tumblr. Well, I might leave for a second to get a snack or something, but that is it. I am focused. I have lots of questions. Help me. Is reblogging what I'm doing right now, and is this the best way to write back to someone? Also, how do I get GIFs? How do you post them? How do I have one of those convos you always see screenshots of on Instagram? Is that by reblogging, or is there some sort of conversation board on here? Overwhelmed. Taking deep breaths.
This
is the nerdiest things that I've ever seen in my entire life.
Crazy.
But we gagged.
She was the only celebrity. Also, I think this is really important. She is the only mainstream pop celebrity. People like Halsey were, born on Tumblr, raised up on it. But Taylor was the first one to understand that Tumblr, and it's so difficult to explain because Tumblr isn't popular anymore. Tumblr was a place for obsessives. It was designed for a very specific kind of fan base. And to use it as a way to get to your fan base and create this relationship with them was so smart. And Tumblr is also definitely more of a private space than Instagram and Twitter was. Like, there's mess that Taylor got into on Tumblr that still has not made its way into like the public consciousness because it was kind of like a private city. You had to like really
Yeah.
care about it to engage with it. And Taylor understood that. And so she could be more free there than she could on her Instagram.
Yeah. Honestly, the golden age of Tumblr was really, really good. Sorry to
Having
all the
Taylor
girls
on
out
it at
there.
first, like that first week when she joined, seated.
Well, she didn't just join to post. She commented on fans' posts. She reblogged fans. She likes their posts. She even followed a bunch of fans. It was a huge thing. In a 2014 interview with Barbara Walters ahead of 1989's release, she said that keeping up with fans online is, quote, the only thing that keeps me not feeling overwhelmed by the abnormality of my life. So it's funny to kind of hear her say that, like, it's not just something that was really important to us, but it was also really important to her. I mean, it's all part of the parasocialism that we
And I
were
believe
born
it
and raised
was.
in. And
I
I
believe it
believe
was.
it was.
Especially with the secret session, she would wait until everybody got home and started posting their pictures, and she would reblog them and comment on their pictures, and it would continue the traction way forward. But she would soon learn. Not maybe 6 months into it, she was like, "Oh no, I've started to do something I don't want to do." But that first like month, all the way through 1989 release, I got the sense that she genuinely loved being on Tumblr.
Well, it was so much fun. Like like most things, the beginning was so innocent. It was so pure. It was just full of passion, and we love your music. We love you, Taylor, and fans getting to meet her, and it was beautiful. And then, well, like all
The
good
derangement
things,
started.
the derangement started. But nonetheless, when it was good, baby, it was good, baby. She was incredibly active on Tumblr to the point where people were thinking it wasn't really her. Everybody who was really in the know, I knew it was her. There was never a doubt in my mind. When people would say
Never.
that, I'd be like, you don't know the girly. There's no way that that's not her.
Especially 1989. I can
Yeah.
take the argument that for Lover, even maybe some of Reputation, she was having Taylor Nation do some of the liking. But 1989, she was online. And she was online at times where she would literally be right off a show and on Tumblr straight afterwards. Like it was very clear that
Yeah.
it was her.
It was her. All the times that she was online, it always made sense. It was never random. And you know what? I really kind of miss that. I forgot about that part of her being on Tumblr when you would figure out that she was online and it would kind of be like, oh my God, she's here. It felt like she was like there.
Mm-hmm.
We're,
And you're
we're,
like, I have to start being funny. I have to start.
yeah,
I have to start making jokes. I have to start cracking jokes. I have to start glazing.
Well, I still actually use the pumpkin chocolate chip cookie recipe that she posted to this day. I think it's one of the best
chai
ones.
cookie one, I really enjoyed. I made that. You see that? See what she had? She had us in the kitchen baking.
She did.
Mhm.
She did. She that
The
was
parasocialism.
the parasocialism knew no bounds. We were making her cookie recipes in our own homes, and I enjoyed every second of it. I'll
hell
have
yeah.
you know. I just at the time I couldn't think of any other celebrity who was as close as she was to her fan base. Even if it was like you could be watching this and think like, "Oh yeah, but it was all like, it was put on, like it wasn't real." Yes, it
No,
was.
it was real. It was real.
It was 100% real.
At first, I promise, I swear to God, it was
It was
real.
real. It was
You
real.
weren't there. If you weren't there,
weren't
you
there.
can't comment.
So the term Taylurking was coined and was often used by Taylor in tags when she was literally lurking on people's blogs. This lurking is how she gathered people for secret sessions. It's also how she would learn things about fans to personally select gifts for them to send them presents during Swiftmas. That is a whole nother kit and caboodle. We could probably do
Another
a whole episode
episode
just on Swiftmas.
on extra special fan treatment.
Yeah, that would be a great Christmas episode, actually. I never thought about that before. But nonetheless, because of Taylurking, people began to obsessively post all day long in the hopes to get her attention. And at the start, it was mostly just for the chance to get noticed with a like or a comment. I don't think a lot of people had any idea what Taylor was really doing, lurking on us all like that. But she was, in fact, fomenting the secret sessions at that point, and nobody knew what she was really doing there. She claimed that she spent months and months before the first session lurking on fans to try and find her biggest ones, stalking their social media, including their Tumblrs, and then she would go on to find the best fans, contact these fans using Taylor Nation as kind of the middleman, and from Taylor Nation, fans would get a Tumblr message or a DM or whatever social they were most active on that would start with the iconic memorable words. This is the It's Britney of Taylor Nation. Confidential message from Taylor Nation. We've noticed what a great fan you are and would love to get more information about you.
When you
These
get
were the
that message,
words you wanted to
the
read.
world stops. It is a world stop moment when you see those 5 words.
It was
And also,
everything.
just for fun fact, it wasn't just Taylor Nation account that was reaching out to people. It was often Taylor's account itself. So like the first time I got approached for the secret sessions in 1989 when she ghosted me, I got this message. It came from Taylor Swift. Like it came from that account. And well,
Well, the rest is history.
They also did this on Twitter. They were contacting people all over the place. Like it was truly here, there, everywhere.
So you'd be asked to supply your name, phone number, birthday, and email, and basically pray to God that you would get a follow-up. Not everybody
Have you met Taylor before? That was the most important question in that message.
Well,
the
nobody
last
ever
thing they
told
asked,
the truth. And nobody ever told the
Taylor?
truth.
I told the truth. I told the truth. And I still went.
So not everybody who got a DM was ensured a place in a session, which I'm sure was sort of devastating to a lot of people who got their hopes up. You got a
Madeline,
DM.
You and me.
Well, see, now the truth
we were like,
is,
we're going.
I
we're
never
going.
had my hopes up. I always knew the truth. I had no idea how I was going to get to New York, honestly. So you see how that works? They wanted to have 89 fans exactly at all of these sessions, which is an insane amount of people. For some reason in my memory, I was like, oh, there's only like 20, 30 fans at each of these things. Oh, no. There were nearly 100 at a few of them. Yeah,
the Lover ones got really, really big.
So if they did choose to follow up with you, they would call you personally on the phone to officially invite you to a secret session. And then they would give you an address and a time and pretty much no other information. So the fact that so many fans managed to keep this a secret, particularly the first one, for almost all of the 1989 sessions, I literally never remember. Well, for
they
the
had
first
no idea
one,
what the hell was going on. They really had no idea.
It's absolutely crazy to me. The Lover sessions, I can't say that there were not leaks, and we know that, and we'll get into that when we cross that bridge. But the first secret session, this is the one that I envy the most. If you ask me, which secret session do you want to go to? This one. I want to go to this one. I want to time travel to this one right now. I'm so jealous of everybody who got to go to this secret session.
We didn't even have Out of the Woods. We had nothing.
We had nothing. So the first secret session happened the day after Taylor went to the iHeartRadio Music Festival in Las Vegas on September 20th, 2014. So she wore at the iHeartRadio, I mean, just for posterity, she wore a gorgeous outfit. It's so
beautiful.
I forgot how good
hair,
she looked.
Perfect.
Hair to the gods, body T, the color blocking,
great.
Performance great, her outfit great. And then she just got on her airplane, her little private jet, zoot zoot, to go home and do the secret sessions. So in the midst of her packed promo schedule, she's just like folding in this huge secret event where she'd be meeting dozens of fans like it's no big deal. Her social battery astounds me. I couldn't have done it.
I don't know how she did. The secret sessions are like as people who have done meet and greets, can you imagine doing like a 7-hour, 8-hour meet and greet? Because every time at the secret sessions, it was not you show up and you take your picture with Taylor and you leave. Oh no, she's there. You're talking. She's on for at least 10 hours.
It's crazy that she did this. Performing, going to the event, getting on the jet, coming back home, meeting 89 fans. It's crazy.
In the middle of like release week. She's insane.
It's crazy. So these first sessioners, that was a term that the fandom coined, these people had absolutely no idea what was going to happen because they were the very first ones. Now, the LA session was split into 2 parts. There was a morning session and there was an evening session, which is even crazier.
I forgot that.
It was in 2 parts, but they were both probably relatively the same rigmarole in terms of getting there, and both groups having absolutely no clue what was going on. So these were fans who were, again, given a completely random address. It was a church, no less. So show up to this church and wait for the buses to come pick you up, sworn to total secrecy. So you can fathom that when they got on a bus and then wound up outside of Taylor Swift's LA house, they were in their pants. I actually don't know if I could recognize it, and a lot of people didn't. Her LA house is not, I don't know what it looks like. I don't need to know what it looks like. From the outside especially,
I have no clue.
No clue. I could recognize Rhode Island, obviously, and I could recognize her parents' house, but the LA house is the funniest one to have been the first one because nobody was 100% sure what it was, especially because they were outside. When they weren't let inside yet. They were outside waiting for like at least 45 minutes. So one girl I talked to, her name is Tay. She told me that she wasn't sure that Taylor would be physically at this event because she was thinking in her head, well, she just did iHeart. So there's no way she's going to be here tonight. I think she was just trying to manage her expectations. But because the secret code that she had to give them when she got to this top secret location at the church, the code had something to do with candles. And at that time, Yankee Candles were teasing something having to do with Taylor around this time. And her and many of the other fans there were like, maybe this is for like a commercial for a Yankee Candle collaboration.
Well, I wouldn't imagine I'm being invited to Taylor's house to listen to her music either. It has to be said. Like,
Right.
you just, your mind would not go there.
There's also a video from like the behind the scenes of the secret sessions of one of the LA fans like sitting in a porch swing outside of her house going, I think we're at one of her houses. How could you tell? Like, you literally would have no, I mean, it's weird that you're in a residential. My mind would be working overtime. I'll tell you that for free. So they show up in LA, they start eating pizza, hanging out with one another. They're aware that something is about to happen, but they don't know what it is. And Tay told me she was so gagged by how normal people were behaving, likely because they had no clue what was awaiting them
about what's to come. Can't say the same.
They were mostly just like talking quietly to each other, like, what's gonna happen? You know, just like being totally normal, like girls would be in that situation.
To have that scenario.
Let me tell you something. In the video, and you can watch this reaction is different than any of the other reactions when people knew it was going to happen. A lot of those girls did not know that Taylor was going to be there. It was an attack. When she popped out, the scream is so loud and so gagged, I would have passed away. If I didn't know she was going to be there, I think it's one of the most evil things that you could do to me is like foist her upon me.
Yep.
But I would be happy. I would be so happy. However, it is worth it to note that another girl I talked to, Hannah, so she told me that her parents were on the phone with Taylor Nation saying, well, we're not going to let her go to this random event where I don't know anybody there. And Taylor Nation was like, I think they realized they have to be really clear about what's going on to her parents so that they'd let her go. And they were like, look, she cannot miss this opportunity because she's going to be meeting Taylor Swift. And that was how they managed to convince her parents to let her go. So Hannah knew. She did know, but she said,
wow. And that is a real Swiftie. That's a real Swiftie.
Is a real Swiftie. So Hannah, for the record, also had a special moment with Taylor when she first walked in where Taylor 100% recognized her and pointed at her and said, you, proving it really was Taylor who was on Tumblr interacting with her. You see how that works? You see how we knew
that works
the whole time. So just for the sake of posterity, Taylor's outfit for this session, I've always thought was so cute. So obviously it's a crop top, but she's in like sort of a high-necked white crop top, turtleneck, 3/4 sleeve kind of a moment with like a simple sort of beachy skirt. It's like high-waisted, of course, tan and white. It's so cute. I love it. These are some of my favorite pictures.
The one critique I would have about the 1989 Secret Sessions is that because she was really committing to the bit, everybody got a Polaroid with her as their picture. So you can imagine the fear of God. Your only picture with Taylor Swift is this little Polaroid, and now you have to guard it with your life until you can get home and take a picture of it. And a lot of these Polaroids were like, sometimes the lighting was really bad. Like if they were outside, they tended to be really dark. And yeah, I would just say the preferred method of getting a picture with Taylor really is not Polaroid. We know people who had light leaks over their face, and they deserved it, but that's another story.
Well, I think if you got a Polaroid and it came out, you're one of the luckiest people alive. Seriously, it's one of the most special pictures on the face of the planet. To have a 1989 Secret Session Polaroid, oh, not everybody can say it.
Not everyone can say that, especially one where both your face and Taylor's face are illegible. Congratulations.
It's crazy. They are absolutely gorgina. I love the 1989 Secret Session Polaroids. All you girlies are lucky as hell. Now, all of these girls were asked to sign an NDA. And what the NDA specifically said is up to anybody's guess, but we do know that they were sworn to secrecy about the contents of the album 100%. You were only allowed to tease stuff and hint stuff. You were allowed to get on Tumblr and say, guys, you're not ready for track 5. You were allowed to do stuff like that. Yeah. Or, guys, Gorgeous has lyrics that could cut glass. You were allowed to do things like that. But they weren't allowed to say, for example, this is the track list, this is how this song goes, this is the melody, etc., etc. So
didn't stop people though, because specifically after the first 1989 session, there were a couple of leaks. And I think that's just because like not everybody understood exactly what was going on. But Taylor Nation would jump on that and shut that down really fast. So
I never
sometimes
saw
people would
any.
post a little. I think I learned something about Out of the Woods. I also know that Kylie, friend of the pod, got in trouble for posting stuff that she shouldn't have posted. But you're excited. You're a teenage girl and you're getting invited to this event. Like, of course you're going to go online and be like, but everybody learned quickly not to do that.
Oh, you learned the poor LA session. Really, the 1989 sessioners in general were kind of the guinea pigs. But you know what? I would like to be a guinea pig. I would have loved to have been a 1989 sessioner in specific. So I reiterate, I want to be in LA now. I want to be at the LA session now. But nonetheless, information after the first session, first sessions, I should say, were very slow to come out. I remember vividly. I remember the exact picture. I wish I could have found it. The very first picture that I saw, I thought it was something related to the iHeartRadio Fest, but I knew that it couldn't have been because the outfit was wrong. And there was something, I knew that I was witnessing history in real time, but I didn't understand what I was seeing. And it slowly became apparent to me and everyone else on Tumblr.com that something seismic had occurred. The people who went in the morning session had to wait until the people got done at the evening session. You had to wait till 10 p.m. to post anything. So people were logging back on 8 p.m. my time. So right around the time I would have been on Tumblr just waiting for something to happen. And they have this crazy story that they went to Taylor's personal house in LA. They got to meet her. They got to meet her cats, eat her cookies, personally cooked by Taylor Swift. And most shockingly of all, got to hear the entire 1989 album front to back. That just didn't make no sense to me.
The jealousy leaped immediately. Immediately, it became, why wasn't it me? That you have to know that that is the instinct and response that everyone had to a session. If you weren't invited, why am I not there? And at the beginning, we were full of hope because we also didn't know in the 1989 secret sessions, we didn't know how many they were going to be. We didn't know how many houses they were going to do. I remember when the second one happened, we were all gagged. We were like, wait, what is going on here? Then it became, oh, I'm auditioning for a secret session for my life every day on this website.
And a lot of people bombed the audition. I'll tell you that for free. I'll tell you that for free. But nonetheless, of all the things that I might envy about these very first LA sessioners, they heard this album more than a month. A month and a
That
week,
was
5
the
weeks.
earliest she ever did a session, I think.
I don't envy that.
Really, that's also, it's a long time to count on 89 people not to say anything. Even when you're Taylor Swift and you have an NDA, like that would make me nervous. I think when we get to Reputation, she starts doing them a lot closer to album release date.
I think also, as long as all these girls like had close friends, like if you could release it to someone, just like, because I couldn't keep it to myself 100%. I would have to tell somebody. So, I mean, maybe I didn't post it.
I told you.
But yeah, exactly. It's like you have to, somebody needs to be the victim of this information. But that is crazy. 5 weeks, I couldn't live hearing 1989 once and then not being able to hear it for another 5 weeks.
That's
so
not right.
They won the lottery, but every rose has its thorn. Every rose has its thorn. And I remember the thing that gagged me the most about the session, when I saw people holding her Grammys, that almost put me in my tomb. I was like, this can't be happening.
It needed to be us.
This can't be happening.
I could have done that and I didn't. I don't understand why I didn't do that. I was just too gagged.
Well, you get nervous. You get shy. Next thing you know, it's slipping through your fingers. So just a couple of my favorite anecdotes, from this first and most iconic secret session. So 1989 is when Taylor finally started to acknowledge and realize the lore that the fandom had cooked up around track fives. And when she was talking about them at the session, she named Last Kiss as the track 5 from Speak Now. And Tay, my friend Tay, not Tay Taylor, Tay, was like, actually, it's Dear John. And Taylor stared at her for a second. And then she was like, oh my God, you're right. And in hindsight, Tay is like humiliated that she did this. She was like, why would I say that? Why would I do that? And it's like, no. You had
get
to.
her.
No, get her. She needed to be schooled. Track 5 on Speak Now's Last Kiss. Right. Yeah. Sure. We're all just supposed to agree with that. Another thing that happened, Meredith attacked a couple of fans. Olivia, who was still a kitten, was just allowed to roam free, and she was crawling all over everybody. Taylor told them told the fans that she wouldn't be playing them the deluxe tracks from 1989 so that there'd still be something for them to be surprised by on release day. But then when she was meeting fans and her phone was on shuffle, New Romantics came on and everybody was like, is this Taylor? And Taylor Nation and Tree were like looking at each other, clearly thinking, should we shut this off? But nobody did anything, so they all heard New Romantics.
Can you imagine? Of all the songs to hear in the background, I would have been like,
oh, gag. Absolute gag.
Complete gag.
So that was the very first secret session experience in the great and beautiful city of Los Angeles, and I would have given anything to have been there. This is my white whale. I don't care about any other session. This is the one I want. Should have been me. It should have been me. But there were a few more. I only really got into deeply the unique ones, so the first one and then the last one, but here's the other ones. So the second 1989 session was in Nashville. I remember it being the gag of the century that this was in her parents' house in Nashville. I was like, now this is the gag. I couldn't believe that it was happening.
Some of us are saying the Nashville apartment needed a secret session. It's like designed for a secret session, but there is something completely gaggy about going to her childhood home.
Yes, I think that I guess it almost kind of makes sense.
It's probably bigger. It's just easier to get people in and out of it because the Nashville thing, it's a condo, like it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. So Taylor's outfit for this session, it's very chic 1989. It's just a little black dress. A chic, sheer, strapless little black dress. She looks absolutely diva. That's all there is to say. Absolutely gorgeous.
The New York City session was my personal white whale. That was the one that I really was so gagging because I was about to move to New York. This was also the one that I thought I was going to be invited to because I had gotten the message and then got ghosted. So this one hurt. That hurted.
Oh, I actually didn't even remember that.
This is the one we were like.
This is how much I've let that go. That is so funny. I didn't even remember that it was supposed to be this one.
This one, you could see the fans. They got papped. The fans got papped going in and out of her apartment. So this one was like, oh my god, you actually get to see like how the cookie crumbled.
You get to see the pap. You get to see the pap.
And they were all gagged. You got to see them walking in and walking out. And walking out, they were all like. Of course.
The fourth session was in Rhode Island. Now, this was the Watch Hill House. This is also kind of a white whale. Honestly, they all are in their own unique, special little ways. The Watch Hill House, maybe now, especially because of the last Great American Dynasty, I think about the Watch Hill House as being more iconic. I'm not sure if in 1989 I thought it was this iconic, but today I'm thinking it's pretty iconic. So her outfit for this one, crop top, sort of like an inverted version of the LA session outfit. Her top is black, 3/4 sleeve, and she's got on a black and white high-waisted skirt.
I love the skirt.
Very
she looks so
cute.
Good in these pictures.
She looks amazing. The Polaroids, they just suited her. I don't know what it is about them. I mean, I think everybody kind of looked good. I've never seen somebody look bad in their Polaroid. There's something about a Polaroid just makes everybody look good.
Yep, so true.
So then, last but not least, the ultimate secret session. This was the final 1989 session, and this one was different than the others. It was more advanced. This session included a live concert event instead of fans listening to the whole album because this session actually happened on release day. There's something to be said about getting to have your release day party with Taylor Swift herself. I mean, I'm saying it. There's something kind of special about that.
But it's worse than getting to hear the whole album before it comes out. I don't really count this one as a secret session, to be honest.
The concert portion of the session was also live streamed by Yahoo. So I guess you could say it's really not secret. It's a secret session.
It was for everyone.
It was a session for everyone. Nonetheless, fans met in the lot of the Z100 building in New York City. There were, again, 89 of them, but Cassie told me this. Cassie told me that there were a lot more industry people at this particular session, like at the concert, which makes sense if you think about it. But the concert happened first, and so this is your first sight of Taylor. She just, like, shows up in the crowd, gagging the girlies left and right. Yep, literally in a white crop top set with silver details. She looks gaggy. And this is
one of her best.
Yeah. She opens with Welcome to New York. And she's literally walking through the crowd of fans as she says, walking through the crowd, the village is aglow. Bump, bump. Pretty. She also did Blank Space, Shake It Off Style, and Out of the Woods. One thing I found bizarre, considering this is like, she's probably pretty happy and probably pretty relaxed because it's all her fans, she sounds nervous.
She also sounds, let's just say what it is. She sounds bad. The performance of Style is like particularly bad.
I've always wondered. I'm sure when you were there in the crowd, you were going, yeah, and
Yeah, of
it didn't even
course.
occur to you. But watching it back on the Yahoo live stream, I was like, uh-oh. But nonetheless, she looked beautiful.
She
So
looked breakdown.
my friend Cassie told me that after the concert, her and all the other fans went 2 floors down into a big room where they had pizza for everyone as they waited for Taylor to come down to meet them all. And Cassie told me that she just stood there like eating her pizza and like crying uncontrollably, like to the point where Andrea had to come over and hug her and say it's gonna be okay. I was like, yep. What else are you supposed to do in that situation? And just like any other secret session, Taylor took all the time in the world with all the fans. But Cassie did say if there's one thing that she kind of regretted about going to the Ultimate Secret Session, she wouldn't change her experience for anything. But the only thing she was kind of bummed out about is that they were the only ones at the time who didn't get to go to one of her personal houses. That was the only thing that she kind of regretted. And I was like, you know what? I see the vision, but also a live concert's pretty cool. So, I mean, it's like potato, potato. You zig one day, you zag another day. There's something special about every single session, I think. So is any of them really better than the others? I don't know. In the 1989 era specifically, I think they're all pretty special. But one of my favorite anecdotes, this is the last thing about 1989 sessions, Taylor told Cassie, this is like the cutest thing I've ever heard, that she has nicknames for people on Tumblr. And she told Cassie's that hers was Pretty Girl. So she would see Cassie on Tumblr and be like, oh, that's the pretty girl. I would kill myself.
Wow. Do not let the Gaylors get a hold of that. Don't let
1989 secret sessions. It was rare. I wasn't there. I remember it all too well.
Well, speaking about things that some of us were there for, I don't know if you guys know, but I have actually been to a secret session. It was a Reputation secret session. And this time around, it was a little bit different. Everything about this album is a secret, is how she would start all of the Reputation secret sessions. 1989, I think, for secret sessions was super exciting because it was the first of its kind. You didn't know what or how she was going to do them. But in my opinion, and of course I'm biased because this is the one I attended, I think the Reputation secret sessions were kind of even more exciting because of how little we knew about the album. And she also had not been speaking to the press at all. So in a way, all the information that the press would get about this album would have to be from secret session information trickling out. So obviously at this point as well, what we didn't mention about 1989 is that anytime a session would happen, the press would like go crazy. So it was like free, constant promo of Taylor Swift is the most amazing, nice person ever, and her new album is really good for months and months and months on end. So it became a very important marketing tool for the Reputation era when she wasn't talking to people at all. But the bad part about the Reputation secret sessions for Taylor was that the jealousy had been brewing. 1989 brought up a lot of discourse at this point about Tay favoritism and rule discourse. So the main rule of the secret sessions was that anyone who's met her before can't go again. So if you break that rule, which I did, which wasn't my fault, Taylor said, I get the override. What happened to me when I got back from my session, Madeline? I logged onto Twitter and did I see everyone saying, I'm so happy for you?
You know, you remember this better than I do. I don't remember. I
didn't
remember this.
You know who
trauma.
It was.
This is
there were
trauma.
I had my own friends. I had my own friends calling me a liar, calling me a rat. There was no congratulations. There was no I'm gonna let you finish. It was you're the devil. And that kind of became a feature of being a sessioner, is that like you are going to come back and people are going to hate you because you got something they want. And to a certain extent, you just have to accept it because it's true. You have been the recipient of a favoritism that is not entirely fair. So people were really primed to pounce. She did them differently this time. She skipped New York entirely, which was strange. And she's never done another secret session there. I think this is because it's just too complicated. It's too much press. It's too many people. And she was, in Reputation at least, she was trying to be seen as little as possible. So the first one started in London. I think there was a London 1989 session, by the way. I think there was a London session held at a hotel. But there was one in reputation as well. There were 2 sessions in Rhode Island, a giant one in LA and one in Nashville. The Nashville one was the smallest one because plus ones were canceled after someone stole a Scrabble point sheet card and toilet paper and other weird from the Rhode Island secret session. And
Had to be done.
The gag is what I forgot. Jess reminded me of this, that the first Rhode Island secret session, Taylor Nation punished them. They punished everyone and didn't give them their pictures with Taylor for a week. For context, I got mine the day after my session. I can't imagine going to a secret session, getting your picture taken with Taylor, and then thinking that there might not ever be a day when you get to see that image. That's torture.
So why were they punished? Because somebody stole?
They leaked about what was happening. They leaked that it was happening, and they stole stuff and posted about it online and posted stuff about the album they weren't supposed to post. And a lot of it came from plus ones, people that were not direct invitees to the secret session. So that was a complete no. So the inter-fandom behavior became even more annoying because the gloating about knowing stuff from the secret sessions was like at an all-time high. And it didn't land well because at this point, Taylor wasn't on Tumblr like that anymore. Like she wasn't telling us things and being everywhere and logging on. This was everybody in the fandom's only collective window into what was going on. And sessioners also, to be fair, are not allowed to post like really specific things. They can just do vague things that generate excitement, but no tea. However, there was some tea. The reputation sessions were a little bit messier. I swear I don't love the drama. It Loves Me line was leaked after the Nashville session. I remember this because I reported a post to Taylor Nation because they ask you at the secret session, they're like, if you see anything, if you see something, say something, tell us and we'll take it down. There were a lot of people leaking stuff like she was singing about sex, swearing for the first time. That was a big thing. People were very interested in that. Some of us said that Gorgeous had lyrics that could cut glass. Some of us called Call It What You Want a sassy bop. Were any of us wrong? I don't think so.
Well,
I don't think so. I don't believe so. Taylor accidentally made this worse. So Gorgeous comes out as a pre-release single after, I think, the first secret session in London. And many people are now like, what the hell is that voice in the beginning? Is that a real baby? Whose baby is it? Taylor reblogs a post and iconically says, 300 people know, period. Oh, the meltdowns. The meltdowns that
They weren't
this...
happy.
They were not happy.
Who had the most to say about this? Remember who leaked that 1989 was the album title? He was the one who said, thanks for letting us know that certain fans are more highly regarded than others.
He's demented. He's like, he really is one of the, he is one of the original.
1989.
Yeah.
He went to
he did.
Session. What are you complaining about?
After leaking the album title, after doing that. So Taylor accidentally made it worse by posting this, and she was Jesus on the cross. Poor girl, she's getting called Nazi Barbie by the media and Judas by her own fans. It's not fair. And this, to me, is like the last time she was truly involved in Tumblr and being online and what was going on. And she was low-key kind of active right before the sessions, but notably like clocked off after this. So everybody starts going crazy, and Taylor has to reply to a post being like, OMG, I was just joking around because it was to Carm, and in my head it read as like mysterious, lighthearted, teasing your friend, but then I read it back and was like, yeah, I see how that came off. Point being, I'm trying to meet as many of you as humanly possible this time, and I'd never be like that. You see how you ruin it?
300 people know.
300. She did bring that on herself.
She did.
She did bring that one on herself.
You can't do that. You can't do that. You're
Apparently,
taunting.
she also asked the London fans to help her pick a pre-release song, and they picked Gorgeous. This is why you don't ask the fans. This is why you make the decisions yourself.
Imagine you hear Reputation and you're like, what is the best song? You guys could have said Getaway Car. You could have said I did something bad.
Gorgeous.
None of my business.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for that. Other random things that happened. Jack Antonoff showed up at the LA Secret Session. Haim was there. Abigail and her engagement ring came in Nashville. Joe did not make any appearances at any of the secret sessions. He was talked about, but he was not ever present, which I personally think that that's weird. I'm sorry, I do. I feel like, Travis would be at these secret sessions.
Oh,
it would be the Tava secret sessions.
He would be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
but I feel like Travis, he kind of thrives on that kind of a thing. To be fair, just to be fair, that would give Travis life.
He's a little attention whore.
He's
doesn't give Joe the
same. No.
Doesn't give him the same thing. So the cats were locked up most of the time on account of the fact that they attacked people at the 1989 secret sessions. And she did a couple of special things. She previewed the Ready For It music video at multiple sessions. Jess, who saw it at the Watch Hill session, said that it looked like because there were like basically no special effects in it. It was really weird. By the time I saw it, it was like the day before it came out, so it looked normal. But even still, I was like, anyway, what's next? What's next on the agenda after that? Thank you. We saw her laptop screensaver, which was a picture of her in a pink wig with Joe, which would become damning evidence later on. But Scott apparently let it slip to Jess, who I consulted for, her recollections of the Reputation Secret session. She went to the one in Watch Hill, that Taylor gets flashcards with everyone's faces on them. And now that just makes sense. It just makes sense. She can't remember all these individual facts and names about this many people, but it breaks the illusion slightly. Like with Reputation, it seemed more transparently like, this is a thing that I'm doing for the album, not necessarily like just because I love the fans.
But like, at least she's making the effort, I guess is the way that I would kind of like reframe.
It's more than anyone else was doing. And I don't think anybody came away from that session feeling like Taylor just read a flashcard about me. No.
Because she's the queenie. And it's
Tay
North Korea, and parasocialism is king in Tay North Korea. And I say, thank God. Thank God.
So I'm not going to go into my secret session detail because we've done that a million times. I have a whole video about it, but I thought that I would ask Jess, good friend of the pod, came to Snares LA. She went to one of the Watch Hill sessions, which I was really jealous of because like the outfits that she wore for the Watch Hill sessions, the white shirt, the big oversized white shirt with the high lace boots, like just, it was of the highest order.
Yeah.
The Nashville outfit was not the best one. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't
me what
out
it
of
was.
all the looks. It's like a gray tank top and high-waisted shorts, like ripped denim high-waisted shorts, and a camo jacket with her hair up.
Yes. Okay, now I remember. Okay. Yeah.
So at the Watch Hill session, they had Chick-fil-A, which is apparently interesting because there was no Chick-fil-A in Rhode Island, so Taylor obviously bust that in. A common thread that I've noticed from all secret sessions is that everybody gets a moment with Scott and he talks everyone's ear off, but no one ever gets to talk to Andrea because she gets mobbed. Like when they walk in, everybody flocks to Andrea and then Scott just kind of walks around with the leftovers and is like, hey, anybody want to talk to me?
Many such cases.
Which is stupid because Scott is the one that I've noticed spills. So if you want to get something, go and talk to Scott. Andrea's too smart. So Austin was also there at this particular session. Taylor described Joe as her sweet, perfect angel boyfriend. Apparently, one of the Watch Hill sessions was normal, the one that Jess went to, and the other one was mental illness. At the other session, people were screaming, "Can we have a sleepover here?" at her house.
And frightening. It was foreshadowing. It was foreboding.
The interjections from the crowd are things that will haunt you forever from a secret session. Like the way that people embarrass themselves is crazy. But this happened to be the secret session where Taylor performed New Year's Day, and it was being filmed for TV. And apparently they were being stage managed by Andrea Swift the entire time. Andrea Swift's like, smile, sing along, look happy. And Taylor said that if they were going to be good, she would give them a little treat afterwards. So apparently she's like messing it up constantly, stopping and starting. Obviously it's a new song to her. And Andrea, she's still doing her threat, smile, look happy, sing. And apparently they were all really stressed because they didn't know the words to the song, obviously. But she messed up enough times that they eventually kind of got it, which is why it looks like they know the lyrics in the performance video, having only just heard the song. And since Taylor said that they did a good job, she played All Too Well for them on the piano.
Now that's the gag. That's the gag.
The gag. All Too Well on the piano, no microphone, in a living room. I want it.
Not fair.
Gimme. Not fair. So someone also asked at that moment, where's the 10-minute version? And she said, I lost it. The disc is in a drawer somewhere. At this point, she was sick of being harassed for this 10-minute version. Little did she know. So then this is where the mental illness started. Swifties, this happened at my session too. People scheme and plot to stay in her house for as long as possible. So they deliberately wait as long as they can to meet Taylor. Like they let everyone else go first and they're the last people to meet her. And that was such a thing that people randomly wanted to do. Scott is also apparently randomly spilling tea about Scooter Braun, claiming to fans that he orchestrated the entire scenario of Snakegate. Like he plotted it with Kim and Kanye. He plotted the phone call, which is a really interesting morsel because it does potentially shed some light on like what he did other than just say Taylor Swift, what up? Like there's more to this story for sure. Big if true. She did apparently get someone's name wrong at this session, confidently too, and they weren't corrected because she was too embarrassed that Taylor didn't know her names. That sucks. Jess, my friend, was bawling her eyes out and chugging water so that she could speak. And Taylor was like, yes, hydrate. That killed me for some reason. I was like, okay, Taylor, thank you so much.
Okay, go off.
So Jess says that she's going to do the sorority squat with Taylor and her friend, and Taylor looks at her very seriously and goes, "What's that? I don't know what
I
that
would have said
is."
the same thing.
I
would
didn't
have
know
said
it
the same
either.
thing.
And she
But I
was
love
like,
it.
"You better not make me look goofy." And she didn't look goofy. She looked gorgeous in the
The
picture.
picture is really cute. I've seen that
It's a
sorority squad
great
picture.
picture. It's a
Taylor's the
great
kind of
picture.
person who just like, you know, it's a pose, and she's a model. She will pose. Doesn't
She
matter
knows
what
exactly
the
what
pose
to
is.
do. She
Yeah.
knows exactly what to do. So the LA look is really, and she has that big T. All the pictures, and she had the throne from Look What You Made Me Do. The LA session had the best props, like the things that you could do. But to me, the white whale outfit is the large white oversized shirt with the lace up boots. That's everything
I
to
like
me.
the outfit that Jess met her in with all the
The
strings
paperclip.
coming off. I love this picture. Jess got like one of the best secret session pictures, I feel like. And Sophia was there too, of course, not to leave her out, but this is absolutely Gorgina. I love this picture.
Sure. And like the Watch Hill living room is so nice as well. Like it has a nice background. So then we get around to, so the Reputation secret sessions mostly went off without a hitch. Then we get to Lover. This is a cautionary tale of how to fuck around and find out and ruin things for everyone else. Taylor will never do secret sessions again. And the more I dove into what went wrong at the Lover sessions, I was like, this is why people get too weird and they act too abnormal. I was shocked, in tears, honey, almost reading about the behavior at this supersized LA session. And I think part of it that was the issue is that there were so many more younger people. Like at my session, there were like 3 or 4 people under the age of 18 with parents. Everyone else was over the age of 18. Tyler, our king Discord editor of many of a Swiftologist YouTube video, he said that it was actually way more minors. And to me, that completely must have changed the dynamic entirely because the adult people were overwhelmed and screaming and crying. I can only imagine what a 14-year-old would be behaving like. I can't blame them.
I can't blame them. If me at 14
would have
didn't have
acted
that
the same way.
experience, I would have been an animal. I
But
would have
do
been an
think the
animal.
Lover, I do think Secret Session should be an adult experience, but like we all know she was trying to capture the kids market for whatever reason. We don't know. So there were a lot of kids here. And it also meant that the sessions were much bigger because when you invite a minor, they have to have a +1 come with them, like a guardian. So if you're having 50 minors, you have 50 parents. That's not fun. And also because the album was so long, she didn't play the album the whole way through because there were too many songs. So she skipped the singles and she also left the room for Soon You'll Get Better. And there was a lot of like pacing and flow interruption. It wasn't Taylor sits down in the chair and plays the album and it's like an organic experience like that. It was kind of different. It was super chaotic and they would break and come back and people would steal each other's spots. It was so weird. There were only 3 sessions, LA, Nashville, and London. So again, someone leaked that there was going to be a Rhode Island session. And she said that because it was such a security issue at her Watch Island house, but that if people knew that she was going to be there beforehand, she couldn't go. So that's why she always pops up unexpected there. She can't she doesn't want anybody to have time to premeditate anything. People swim to her house, like it's too much.
Right.
So when people are leaking stuff about the session, it's like, it's not just about like being excited. It's also about like Taylor's safety. Like these are her homes. Right. So to leak it is stupid also. And apparently that person still got to come to a session, which is crazy to me. So the like tea that we got from the Lover sessions was horrible tea. False God is about Trump. Remember that?
And you know what? There's something to that.
No, there isn't. There isn't. There isn't. This is her political album. That's what I remember hearing most of all. The songs that we heard most about were The Man and Miss Americana, which was described as a song retelling of the Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump election. And I knew as soon as I heard that, no.
Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince.
It is about that in the sense that
in the way that. So that's
but thank God it wasn't a horrible song. That is the tea. And you know what? I remember hearing absolutely nothing about Cruel Summer. I remember one of our mutuals saying something about it, and that's it.
Well, that's kind of like the weird thing about the secret sessions is I don't really ever remember ever getting any tea about any of the best songs on the albums from any of the sessions. That's the funny part. Isn't that funny how that works?
You're never right because again, also you're only hearing them for the first time. You're intaking so much information, right. Like it's hard to tell what's the best song. And you're in her house. Yes.
And I'm not going to be in Taylor's presence as she's looking me in the eyes, playing me a song and think this is bad. I don't think that's possible.
I did it, but I pretended. I masked.
Which song was it? Was it King of My Heart?
No, it was New Year's Day. I was like
That was
pretending to
wrong.
wipe tears. I was like, should I
You're
be crying
pretending
about
to
this?
write tears.
Everybody was having meltdowns. They
Fraud.
have the meltdowns. I can only imagine what was going on in the room with Soon You'll Get Better. I think she probably should have just skipped it. Probably should have just skipped that one, said, let's let that one have this moment when it comes out. So did these sessions achieve their goal of doing press for Lover? Well, no, it seemed like a chore. At this point, I think that the magic of the secret sessions had worn off. Like, it was 5 years since she started doing them. It wasn't a novelty anymore. So really this one was more about fan service than it was about like actually promoting the album. And I wanted to read a verbatim account of Tyler's experience because it was so funny and I couldn't editorialize it. So he says, what I would really like to discuss is the type of behaviors that I was witnessing at the event. Let me start off by asserting I feel lucky and thankful to have attended, once in a lifetime opportunity, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to say some mean things about it. And I need to acknowledge there were so many amazing parts that outweighed the cons. But there were a lot of 17-year-old children there. One of them leaked her invite and the day for the Rhode Island secret session, and the day it was happening, and it was a huge drama and a major big deal. Taylor Nation had already called people, DM'd them, and invited them to that session, and then had to call everyone and tell them to switch it. So they had to cancel it, and they combined the Rhode Island session with who they had picked for the national secret session, making it one big 113 people session. That's too many people. That's too many people. That is like really over the top. And the girl who posted her invite still got to come and was getting whacked while Taylor was telling the story in front of her face. I wouldn't have survived that.
You know what? It's like, I'm not going to take this amazing experience away from you, but I will whack you in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say,
no.
But you'll remember me, won't you? But you'll remember me.
You'll never forget my name. You'll never forget the essence of my spark.
Exactly.
So I think a lot of what Tyler was saying was there was very insane behaviors going on from the fans. So this actually kind of happened at my session too. When you arrive at her house, you're put in this outside place waiting to go in. A lot of the most demented people would immediately rush up to wherever they thought they were going to get led into so that they could run in and get a seat right in front of Taylor. And it's like, it's not a concert. You're going to be here for hours. Go and get a beverage. Go get a sip of water. Have a cookie. Like, you don't need to be. There were some people that wouldn't greet Andrea because they were trying to get into the room first. And it's like, girls, you're going to be face to face. You do not need to be doing that.
No, that's rude.
Really don't need to be doing
rude. This is somebody's home. Let's look at you a home. Put on your shoes. Let's go find you a home.
Let's find you a home. So apparently another annoying thing at Tyler's session was random people would interrupt her mid-sentence and go, do you know who I am? Can you imagine? That is so embarrassing. That is so
that
embarrassing.
That can't be. I would have passed away.
Where are the parents? Where are the guardians? You need to tell your children, shut up. These behaviors are crazy.
They're shocking. They're monstrous. These are monstrous behaviors.
She says that she's going to skip The Archer because it came out 3 days ago. And she was like, we're not listening to the pre-release singles because there's so much to get to. And apparently the room loudly starts jeering. Oh, they want to hear The Archer. They're like pissed they don't get to listen to it. Taylor was very patient. Apparently she said, I want to be able to meet as many of you as possible. So we're just going to skip it. And they kept going, oh no, whining, literally. And apparently Taylor kind of snapped and was like, we can play the song and I don't have to meet you. How about that? They went, no!
Whip them. Whip them. They need to be whipped. Whip them.
That's the first time I've heard her like
That's
really
crazy.
snap. Actually, she did kind of snap at my session at someone who was like, is this the crying song about New Year's Day? She got kind of annoyed about that, but nothing like this. So she left the room for Soon You'll Get Better. And apparently everybody was like scream sobbing, like just absolutely losing it. But after that happened, there was like a period of time before Taylor came in and they just started scream chanting, you are somebody that I don't know. They just start chanting, you need to come. And Taylor enters. This is literally right after the Andrea has cancer again announcement. And Taylor walks into the room with a glass of wine and goes, what are you guys doing?
You don't come back from that.
If
you were a part of that, if you're watching this and you were a part of that, you don't come back from that. That's humiliating.
Can you imagine you're going from scream crying on the floor to shade never made? And Taylor walks in and is like, I thought I left you with a gorgeous, beautiful, devastating song. Why are you doing shade never made anybody less gay?
That's humiliating. Ladies, gentlemen.
It's humiliating.
That's
So here,
humiliating.
Tyler had to suffer from not being a minor because all the minors needed to get home and go to sleep. So they got to meet everyone first. And because there were so many of them, the over 18s had to wait until 5 a.m. to meet Taylor.
I remember hearing about people sleeping outside by the pool.
They were napping. And that's
Yeah.
crazy because it's such a testament to Taylor because she wants to take her time with everyone. But this is why we don't have the minors. This is why we don't.
Yeah. I mean, not to, I mean, you know, there's other opportunities to meet Taylor, obviously for the girls, for the kids. But this, I really think that this is an event, and there's security reasons, safety reasons, just regular human behavior reasons why these events, not that they're ever going to happen again, but theoretically,
not that they're ever gonna
they
happen
should
again.
Probably be 18 plus, if not even 21 plus. I'll say it. I'm not scared.
And the outfits from the lover sessions, she was just in her normal clothes. She was just in her I'm chilling at home clothes. And they're not bad, but they're not like, compared to the other sessions, like they're not like so lover coded, except for the one that has pink in her hair.
So the the filter, I forgot that the filter is on these pictures. There's something to be said about that.
What's weird is the Reputation pictures didn't have a filter on them.
They didn't. This is the one. I mean, I guess it makes, like, for Lover, actually, I think it's kind of like, now it's like the filter.
It also
so I
looks
get that
good.
It doesn't feel like that.
It looks good.
It looks good. Like, it's perfect for the Lover era.
But I personally would want an unfiltered version so that I could filter it however I like.
Right, exactly. I like the LA session outfit that the red. So it's red or it's pink. It's hard to tell.
It photographs really well.
None of these outfits really give Lover really at all. Like, if
No,
you look at it,
don't.
like, they're very casual, which good for you. Got to be comfortable. She's got her bracelets on.
But her rep outfits were casual and they felt very rep coded. Like, even when she wore to my session, it was super, like, the camo jacket was like studded. There was like hardware, boots, like it was a whole thing.
Wow, this is crazy. I feel like if I stare at some of these pictures for long enough, I can see the light has left a little bit in her eyes.
Yep. She's like,
these pictures are being taken at 4 a.m., mind you.
And you know what? We've had a couple meet and greets that went on a little long, and they are so fun. And like, in the moment, you don't realize that you're getting tired at all. But when you're done afterwards, Madeline and I have walked off stage broken after meet and greets, just because it takes so much energy from you to like have these conversations with people. You want to make sure that everybody's having a moment. And we're doing this on a tiny scale. What was the most people we met in a night? 45?
Yeah. Nashville, 45.
100
knocked
people.
It out of the park. Yeah.
100 people. I can't imagine it.
It's crazy. She's crazy. She's not like us. They not like us?
They not like us.
I'm trying to say it. That was
it.
We
hope you enjoyed that trip down memory lane.
You'll never see it again. It's
you
over,
will
girls.
never go to a secret session.
I remember there were conversations around midnights about secret sessions. Honestly, people say COVID is the reason. COVID is the excuse.
Yes, COVID is the excuse, not the reason.
Yep. It's a very, very good excuse. Okay,
it is crazy
I support
how
her 100%.
It's crazy how this was such an integral part of the fandom. Meeting her, it was such a big part of her career, and now it's just like not even really an option.
No,
but I respect it, and I understand.
I respect it 100%. It's definitely something very rare. Like, what was the closest people came? It was the movie premiere. The movie premiere, yeah. And that was awesome. That was amazing. So I think
and that's as much as she should do.
And at the Sundance Film Festival. Anywhere that it's possible, she'll do it. But she's not going to do
Watch, she brings it back for whatever this album is. I will be so gagged if she does that. I really
I'll be having fun. And it's like, honestly,
we won't be there.
I'm an adult. No, we won't be there.
Will not be there.
Now that I'm an adult, I don't have these kinds of like, by Lover, the Lover sessions, I was like, I don't need to be obsessing over that. So now that I'm a grown adult, I don't really think of them that way anymore. Like, oh my God, I have to let the 22-year-old girls go. Let the 22-year-old girls
But keep
go.
the minors at home. They ruin the vibe. I'm sorry, you do. The minors at my session were so annoying.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for tuning in. Patreon.com/Swiftologist, and we will see you in the next episode.